one of the things I one of the things I really want to talk about, it was a phrase that struck me the other day, and actually I've spent several days now reflecting on it. Um, and the phrase was, love yourself to death. That was a phrase that I'd heard. Love yourself to death. And I want you to just sit with that for a second. Love yourself to death. Uh, it can have really, can't it, this infinite set meaning, infinite. We're going to, I think over the next week, let's say, I won't be here on Saturday. I'm not sure. I don't think we figured out yet who will be ringing the bell. I will be at Quest Haven, where you are more than welcome to join. We're going to work that out. I don't know whether often, so graciously, Greg or Jim or Pete, sometime, and Mike take that spot. I don't know how that's going to work yet because we haven't really framed that up, but someone, I'll be teaching. So I want to talk about this idea of how to love yourself to death. And I want to talk about it in two ways, I think. One is how we think or believe we're going to love ourselves, what that really is. And often I have to say, just for myself, I'll just speak from there. Where else could I possibly speak from? But I believe it's true for most of us. What I used to believe loving myself really meant was giving myself things. A massage, a trip, a new pair of earrings, an experience, exercise, eating healthy. And I'm in no way condemning any of those things as good or bad, because really the object, as we are coming to realize in the Dharma itself, is neither good or bad. It's how we use it. Because I'm from the Midwest and naturally cheap, I think in some ways, like, you don't spend money on that stuff. My husband and I used to together go to swap meets every Sunday. And that started actually because I started a business. And it was really a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun doing it together. And the business was shabby chic furniture. Remember that? And I had a friend who did shabby chic, and she said, let's do a store. And so every waking moment that we weren't committed to something else, we would spend seeking cheap furniture. And then we would redo it and resell it. I think my husband still calls it upcycling or something. And we would pass by up in Oceanside these hundreds, if not thousands, of slots of stuff, furniture, and we did that for years. I mean, probably more than we needed to, truly. And we accumulated a fair amount of stuff. You might say so much stuff that we thought we would be useful and sell, that we didn't have space in some important way for the things that really mattered. Uh, and I think that took us a while to come to that. In fact, in some way, I think we're still, aren't we all, on this path, ever coming to it. This idea of getting for yourself or seeking or wanting um, really often leads to grasping, and how that grasping in its nature only leads to suffering. So I want to talk about that side. I heard a talk once where someone called a garage sale failed seeking. All of the things we thought would bring happiness or ease or refuge, and it doesn't really work. So that's the one side of loving yourself to death with some kind of beauty of compassion. Wisdom grows from this, doesn't it? An essential greater love and kindness comes out of it. And yes, the truth of equanimity as well comes out of each one of those failures. Each time, I think it'll be this. I use caramel corn a lot as my example of every time I went to a street fair or a ball game, or I'd smell that caramel corn and I think, oh, I gotta get that. I love, my dad used to make us caramel corn as kids. It was a cheap treat. And I was just seeking that. I was simply seeking that felt sense of being held, of being loved, of that warmth that, of course, didn't have too much to do with caramel corn, right? We know this, really, don't we? And so one of my questions to you today as we practice is, what are you still using as false refuge? What are you still clinging to? What do you still seek? What do you still grab that actually pulls you, at least temporarily, I will say, off the path, this Dharma path? But then also, as I also said, by that failure, that failed seeking, can inform you because it never fulfills. It never gets us what we thought it would. And the truth is, we needed to see it again one more time. Is it a relationship, an object, an experience? Is it believing that you need to be better or improved in some inner, outer way? Because all of it can inform through this practice. This is what I truly love about the practice. I truly love this practice for that offering, that I can see, oh, though I think I'm loving myself, and the to death part is something we'll also keep talking about. Is it truly nourishing? Is it truly contributing? And then we get to a place in the practice, and we'll talk about this next time a little bit, where all of the seeking stops, all of the trying to get anywhere or get anything or get anyone falls away more and more to this just being present. Well, just, right? This being present and the veil that falls away that separates us from everything, so that everything becomes a possibility. Everything is nourishing. Everything is a connection. And the struggle falls away. So I thought we would practice with that today a little bit. And then we'll keep talking about that, loving yourself to death. What are the wholesome, Dharma-inspired aspects of the path? And where is the false refuge? The things that truly never have, never really will, equal only temporary relief, and then must, by their very nature, by their very inadequacies, by their very failure, must be repeated. So loving yourself to death, let's practice with that a little bit. And then what came to mind was, I don't remember, Rilke did not name his work, so he just numbered it often. But some of you who know poetry a little or will remember the line, and it went something like this, and I'm going to bastardize Rilke, so I apologize. But it was something like this. God, let me be unfolded. Let me open in all the places I am collapsed or tightened or disconnected or separated, so that I may become a living truth by my very aliveness, by my very presence. And the I, of course, does not mean the self, so that I may be unfolded and become the Dharma, I guess. So my thoughts for today, loving yourself to death. Let's get ready then to practice. Thank you so much all for being here. I'm going to just take a little sip of something here. Establishing this embodied posture. We actually establish the posture from the inside out. And when we can't get that, then we just sort of set the body and hope that it translates down to the muscles and the bone and the cells and the marrow. And this is that moment, that flash of bodhicitta, that moment of inspiration, that moment of knowing, that moment of committing oneself fully to what? The present moment. this being that has no fold, that has no veil between this body, mind, and the truth. One might say no separation from this Buddha being, love. And may we offer this practice today to all beings. All beings everywhere without exception, making room in our own heart minds, as wide, as vast, as boundless and deep as we can, for everyone and everything. So as we begin practice this morning, see if we can unveil ourselves. And that simply means opening ourselves most completely. You can do this open eyes or closed. But we begin simply by this idea of making contact with the feet on the floor or the legs folded, lying in bed or sitting upright. Doesn't matter, does it? Making contact with the things we often experience as separate. And we can do this in a just particularly physical way. So I'm just feeling my feet on the floor and the rug and the coolness of the hardwood and the hardness of the metal base of a table. And I'm seeing if I can just unfold rather than have an opinion, rather than have an experience even. I'm seeing if I can simply be. And then we simply know soft as soft and hard as hard and cold and warm. We're not thinking about it, but see if we can't just let that, put that fold down. It'll take a few breaths to simply know the feet. And letting the experience of the feet be whatever they are. And then gently in your own time, moving up the body to those contact points that are being offered to you. The next one for me was the back of the calves against the chair. See where you are invited to go. And just work your way then with that directed attention and at least offer yourself one in and one out breath. Finding your way to your seat. And then to the back of the upper body. To the shoulders and to the arms. And you'll notice that what is required as we move through the body is placing down that auto narrative, that opinion, that perspective, that bias. And that before you can know experience, know life, we could say, you have to unveil, unfold the bias from the experience, like we keep just placing it down. And moving all the way up to the top of the head, feeling our nobility in that uprightness, whether lying, sitting, standing, or walking. This innate seed of capacity to truly be present, truly be a part of, not separated from life, but fully here. We can begin again and again in the body, just like this. And as we begin to enter the body once again and come into the front of the body, let's see if we can't, rather than stealing ourselves, bracing ourselves, let's see if we can't soften. And we begin right there in that forehead and the eyes, the cheeks and the jaw. We unfold and unveil ourselves piece by piece. With each out breath, we release in the area of the throat, the shoulders, the chest, and the lungs, the heart. we begin to rest in the out breath, sort of fully open, fully exposed, really naked, raw, unbound, no longer separate in any way from this breath or this body or this moment. In fact, as we begin to settle down and settle back a bit, releasing and softening and allowing, there is then no separation at all. There is simply this life, this breath being breathed. And don't become the breather. It's one of our favorite places for grasping. We rest instead in the knowing. And let's just stay rested there in the out breath as our primary object for a few moments. Seeing if we can't drop the narrative, drop the breath, no longer controlling or managing it, drop the barriers, drop the boundary, drop the fold, drop the veil, drop the separation. There is not me and this breath, there is only breathing. Rather than seeking which we're starting to recognize can never be fulfilling, can never be useful, can only lead to more craving, wanting, seeking. We can find those moments right there in the out breath, where there's simply the Buddha being, awakening. You may notice as you're resting in awareness at the end of the out breath that if you don't touch in to the open, empty vast space at the end, you will carry some remnant of thinking, of experiencing even into the next in breath. And that itself is a form of seeking. Let me hold this or carry this or expand even the idea of this into the next. And so we experience the release, the soothing, the softening, and then we even let that go. We rest for just that light touch in the no thing. No breath, no release, no defined space, no self. And this is where we really unveil, unfold, unbind, untether ourselves. There's nothing to hold, no one to hold it. We rest in the complete and boundless refuge of awareness itself. no longer connected to any object. And it is there that we can truly offer love. And we begin to see there that anything else we pick up, anything else we grab or name or cling to, becomes just one more fold, one more crease in what otherwise is simply boundless. And so then we take the next in breath with nothing in mind. Just open, receptive, inclusive, connecting, allowing, belonging to whatever is here. And then we love that too. There really is no other choice. And what we begin by offering, this is that Dana Paramita, our greatest offering, our greatest generosity is in fact ourselves. and we connect with it fully. There really then is no it. There is simply experiencing, and we are wide open. Awareness itself, space and room and warmth and love like the radiant sun. And this is the path. This is the place. This is the way in which all love, all connection, all presence happens. We unfold, unveil, unbind, untether ourselves each breath. And then goodness is flowing, love moving in the in-breath and the out-breath. A continuous stream of loving presence. And then we begin to notice that the thoughts are not so interesting or fulfilling, though they simply can be coming and going. There is no problem, and they by themselves are no longer sufficient nourishment. It is the knowing of them. And then whether it's a sticky thought, a thorny thought, a thought with hooks, a malicious thought, an unkind thought, whatever the thought, it's simply then in this radiant light, and this thinking coming and going. And in this completely unfolded, unbound, untethered experience, we become as vast and wide and open as the sky. And then whatever the thought, it is simply like a cloud forming briefly, passing in the sky. You do not mistake it for me or me. You rest in the vastness, the boundlessness. Remembering who we really are. And in this way, we love ourselves to come and beyond. No mistaken identity. And in this way, we gladden the mind. We become easeful and calm with no sharp edges. No limitations, no separation, no isolation, disconnect. We have removed the veil from our eyes. We have unfolded the boundless heart. And so, just for a moment, offering yourself that continued unfolding, you release the tensions or tightness, that contractedness or cramping, wherever we can find that in the body. So I'm going to check in here and see if we might answer now from that place of awareness, that place of truth, that place of being unbound, unseparated, unfolded, and unveiled, right? We've used all those words. How we have clung. This is that loving yourself to death through our habits, through our addictive devices, through our clinging and the wanting of something other, or even this wanting from the other. Don't we do it? Like, if only they could be a little something, then I could be most loving. Then I could get it together and really offer love, kindness, compassion, equanimity. And there are no conditions. This is why those qualities in particular are known as the unconditioned or the boundless abodes. They don't require anything. from anyone. They just require that openness, that unfolding, that presence. And then we become it, don't we? We simply become it. There is no exchanging. There is no if then. There is no you've got to be for me to be required at all. In fact, it becomes a ridiculous contract. And then we love not only ourselves to death and beyond, right? We love others in exactly that way. And then I feel certain beyond death. Death is no doorway, is no stopping point. It is no end of the commitment to the path or to goodness or to love at all. It's just a new doorway, new possibility. So, what do you all know about this? We'll take a minute and see if anyone has anything to offer there. About these two forms, we're going to keep talking about them. One, this loving ourselves to death and beyond, I have to keep adding, which has no restrictions, has no conditions, has no requirements, has no expectations, right? Has no storyline, doesn't have, there's nothing. It's just wide and open. And that is the Dharma path right there. And it's so relieving, isn't it, to know there is a path? Like, oh, thank God. I don't know if I could have found this if somebody hadn't done it in front of me. If there weren't all those who had already cultivated this truth, this awareness, this path, those infinite awakened others coming from all traditions, by the way, who keep pointing the way, just as it is my hope that we also point the way, right? For who? All those coming behind us. That we essentially are that loving awareness, that loving presence. I've got something here. I just saw part of a chat. When I am happy for no reason, people look at me and wonder, yes, when we are happy, really the truth about real happiness is it never has a reason. It simply is the beaming light of loving awareness. Remember, unconditioned, unbound, doesn't have any because she gave me, they didn't, I won, lost. It doesn't have any, and you can feel that. It is true, Dennis, isn't it? You can feel that quality in others, that spaciousness, that room, not only for them to be happy, but room, not only for you to be happy, but room for them. A place of refuge, a place to rest, a place to simply breathe and be, where you know I am safe here. I am safe here. Nothing required, right? Not of us in offering that presence, and not of others in offering it to them. And again, in fact, there is no me to them and them to me. It all becomes just the whole of it, doesn't it? And I'm so grateful for you, all those who practice with us, because whatever else is happening, we're all really pointing towards that, aren't we? We're all saying today, how do I live again in that most natural, most fearless, most expansive, most abiding, most open heart. That's right. So thank you all for that. And how do we then get off the cushion and bring that with us into each breath, moment, interaction, conversation, experience. So I'm still asking that question. I think I've got a couple things here, so let me go down. Yes, that's a lot. It is a lot, isn't it? And it requires no thinking. So you don't have to think too much about that. That a lot means you're analyzing, or what do I have to do? This comes right out of what you just did. That very resting, that very opening, that very, and then there's not a lot or a little anymore. It's just what's there, right? It becomes a lot, maybe. Not that it's a lot beautiful, I think, but it becomes a lot, the other a lot. This is those two sides of loving yourself to death. It's a lot when you go, I've gotta, now I gotta I gotta try, I gotta get it together, I gotta go right. And then, not only do you have a lot, there's no chance for it, actually. So we have to unbind ourselves first. We untether ourselves, we unveil ourselves first in the practice, in the Dharma, in the path. And then we simply go about the day, breathing, being, radiating that happiness that Dennis was talking about, that looks like everything, right? There's a quiet version and a joyful version and an energetic version and still version, and no problem. No problem. When you said love yourself to death, it meant that I could love myself throughout my life. Yes, it does, exactly. Thank you. Unconditioned love, unbridled, uncontained, really nothing in the way, no hindrance, no obstacle, right? Nothing. There's nothing. What could it be then that could possibly get in the way of it? Really, name it.
Everything.
Nothing. No, only that mind that believes that, well, because of this and because of that, and because I got my hurt foot, and because I golfed too much yesterday and now my neck hurts, and right, we could say, oh, here's the reason. This is it. Why? We're in craving. There it is. We can love ourselves to death on the other side by craving something else. Some other moment, some other body, some other way, some other partner, some other job, some other salary, something else. And that craving will always be the cause. So that, yes, isn't it? There's the cause. Not this moment, something else. Not this life, some other life. Not this partner, some other partner. Not this word, some other word. I used to do that as a teacher, early days of teaching. I used to think, I don't think I said that right. Believing that what I said was it. I have since seen more clearly. The words are the words. They're a little bit of a pointer, but ultimately, that's not it. What is it? The sense of one's own spaciousness, one's own love, one's own presence, right? And then the words just go blah, 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 blah. You can say anything at all, and it's all fine because it's all coming from that same infinite source, right? So you don't even have to worry about that. We just open that heart and let whatever is there pour out, and it will all be fine. And not only fine, you could say it'll be good. That's where the goodness is. And I love this path again. I love that we're going to start in November. looking at that, a whole life path of love, a whole life path of being no obscuration, no habit, no, not required, doesn't even benefit. And we see that more and more clearly. The essence of the moment. Yes, that's right. So I want us to think about this. We're going to talk about it again next Tuesday. I want you to pay attention then for yourself to where do you fall into this idea of loving yourself through cravings, through wanting, through clinging, through grasping, through gotta get, gotta have, gotta keep, gotta get rid of, gotta get over there, don't be over here, and see if it works. See if it works. This loving yourself to death, there is nothing but addiction, contraction, collapse, and hunger in it. Nothing. And I want you to see it. I don't care how great the steak. I don't care how good the caramel corn. I don't care how beautiful the sunset. You cannot, can you hold it sufficiently? You eventually still simply are left in the opening. And then I want you to practice noticing, commit yourself to this, when the opening is just happening. And then what? Everything is enough. There is no more to get, no more to keep, nothing to get rid of. It's all in abundance. It's already boundless. This real life, no veil, no fold, no separation. We're just here in this experience completely. And see if it is not already sufficient. Whatever it is, like it or not like it, it's not even required. And then you can like it or not like it. Doesn't even matter. It's not really the point. We're all here. We're all in. We're already a part of it because there we are. Right? It beholds us. We behold it. We're already right here with this. So whatever else is true, nowhere else to go, nothing else to get. Here we are. And then we what? Practice rather than contract, rather than collapse, rather than fold, right? Rather than fixate. We see, wait a minute, let me see if I can't join. You already are, by the way. You're simply getting the sense of the false self out of the way. I'm already here. I'm already joined. How can I contribute? How can I participate? How can I bring that Dharma, that truth, that goodness, that love to this moment? And by the way, that also is infinite. There's no one anything. Dennis is going to bring it one way. I'm going to bring it another way. And it's going to both be perfect, isn't it? It's perfect. Just that. Here, open with this. So let's look at this. We're going to stay in contact. Loving ourselves to death with clinging, craving, loving ourselves to death, vast, open, spacious, no separation, room for it all. And let's see if we don't notice which one actually equals that infinite goodness that we really cannot be separated from. Let's sit for just a moment together. Just resting in the stillness and the silence. And we have already gathered all the goodness from throughout all time. It's already here. made manifest through us, this awareness. And we infuse everything, every object, that vast open space, stillness and silence, we infuse it all with this loving presence. This moment leads the path to this one. And so may we gather our hearts, gather that wholeness, that boundlessness. May we gather it up, invite our own presence, our own light, our own loving awareness, and we open, shining now more light. We become the perfect, beautiful, magnifying conduit for all goodness and all love. May we offer this in all directions to all beings, including ourselves. May we call to mind those special ones, David, Erica, Olivia, Francesca, and we breathe that goodness in all directions. May we all be happy. May we all be free from pain and suffering. May we all rejoice and gladden the heart mind with the truth of our infinite blessings. And may we wish these blessings for others. May we rest in the vast open space of loving presence, unbound, untethered, unveiled, unfolded. May we remember who we really are. May it be so this very day. So thank you so much for being here with me this morning. Keep that loving ourselves to death. Keep that in mind, and then see if you notice where the habits are and where the release from the habit is. And then when you feel that release, see if you can't keep leaning in that direction a little bit. let it inform, influence, and open you just a little bit more. And notice then how happy you will be, and also how happy you will make others. Thank you so much for practice today. I won't see you guys until next, I won't even see you next Tuesday, actually, because I will be in retreat, I think. Is this right? Yes, it is right. So I won't see you Saturday, Tuesday, or Saturday because I will be in retreat that week, though you are all welcome to the all day for whole or part at Quest Haven Retreat Center this Saturday. That will be a guided practice. There are lots of new people coming. I'm very excited about that. That's just an all day. And then I will be back home for Sunday, Monday. They don't have room at Quest Haven. And then we'll head back to Quest Haven on Monday for practice, silent practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then people will begin to arrive Wednesday afternoon for guided practice on Thursday, Friday, and part of the day Saturday. Turns out that following Saturday, the 30th, by just so you know, most of our retreatants will need to leave by 2. Will not be a full day of practice on Saturday, the 30th. It will be a full day of practice on this Saturday, the 23rd. So if you can't make the morning, but you can make the afternoon, that starts at 1 o'clock to 4:30. And if you can make the morning, but not the afternoon, that will be from 9 in the morning until about 12:15 or so. So see where you can join us. It's a beautiful day. We'll be outside really for the whole week. That is the way we're going to be practicing with whatever comes. Whatever comes, we're going to be with that. Don't have any idea about that. Just know that I'm going to be open to it, as I know that you will be also. I see somebody's going to be there in the AM. Thank you. Love that. If you haven't registered yet, just let me know. And then you'll just be able to pay that day fee that Quest Haven charges us. You can pay that there. So don't get like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up. That's for some people that just gets confusing and a little complicated, but just let me or Carrie know that you're planning to be there so that we can get your name on the list.
Hey, Di.
Yeah.
On next Wednesday, is there for commuters, is there practice, or does the practice start on Thursday?
Yes,
Okay.
the guided
Great.
practice. Well, the guided practice actually starts Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, it does. Okay.
But it's late. It starts after 3, then we break, right,
Okay.
and then we come back in the evening. So I wouldn't recommend Wednesday unless you would want to come sometime before that for silent sitting practice. I will not be guiding until late afternoon on Wednesday. And so Thursday, Friday are really our 2 full days of guided practice.
Yep. Wednesday sounds good to me, though.
Yeah, whatever day you can get there is a good day.
Okay.
Right? Any
Awesome.
day you get there is a better day than not getting there. So I'll look forward to seeing you. Just like
I was starting in the morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to text.
So sorry. I had a question.
Oh, yes. Leanne, did
I did. I'm sorry. I was outside school.
no, yeah.
About the monks and the lunch.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of a yes there.
Yes.
And then, but you did kind of weave in this Tecate build, which got was definitely got some.
Well, I didn't really, did I? You guys read that.
Yeah.
No, I did not. You guys went down below and I was happy that you did, by the way, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, some folks showed some interest and I wasn't sure if it was something open or is it something that's kind of already planned and taken care of. And I'm not sure if this is appropriate to share here, but I wanted to ask about it.
Yes, it is. I'm going to be putting that in the newsletter actually, December 4th, there are 2 opportunities. One is to participate, and that's going to be in the newsletter, to participate at MiraCosta College, distributing the food boxes from Feeding San Diego to the Holiday Food Basket Group at CRC. So that's one opportunity. And we already, I think, have 10 spots. Cindy's here. I don't know if we've confirmed this yet. So, but I think we've been offered some spots.
You've been offered 8 spots.
8 spots to do that. So that's one possibility for our community. The other possibility, it's on the same day, unfortunately, is through Rotary. And that is going down with the Rotary on their buses, which I think is fabulous, to Tecate, where we will be doing a couple of house builds for the day and then coming back. But that's a full day. So I think the CRC part might be 7:30 to 1-ish. Cindy, does that seem right?
Yes, yes. It's 7:30 to 1 or 7:30 to 1:30.
Like that?
And yeah, and I'll have to check because they're offering us the 8 spots for that day. And also other days if we wanted to do, the pre-distribution.
The packing.
But yeah, the packing. But also I would have to find out how long they're going to hold the 8 spots for us.
Yeah.
So we may, I'll connect with them and just find out. At this point, they're offering us the 8 spots, and
Wonderful.
I guess it'll depend when that's going in the newsletter for us to give them a little bit more
Whenever you
information.
get the clarity that we have them and how long they'll hold them.
I mean, at this moment, we have them, they're holding it for
Okay.
us, but I'll get in contact with my contact to find out when she needs a confirmation for the amount of people.
Great. So I'm going to try to get that newsletter up today. So I'll just put that in as we have 8 spots for that. And then the Tecate, you guys just let me know. I'll write that in there also. And I will let Rotary know that we are coming, because it's Rotary and friends, and I'm excited about that. I'm feeling a little torn because I was one of the elves last year at the Holiday Basket, and I loved that. And I also, this idea of building a home for someone feels really important. So yeah, there's some decision making there, but that will also be in the newsletter. And that opportunity began with the Rotary that not only me, many of the Rotary clubs in San Diego will be heading down there. So I'll put that in as well. You just need to let me know. I need to let Rotary know. And that day will be transportation is covered by Rotary, which is.
Thanks, Di.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, beautiful at the beginning, beautiful in the middle, and beautiful at the end. Enjoy this day, make it beautiful. Love to you all.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tanya.
Bye.
Ditto.
Be well, everyone.
Bye.